Welcome back to Sapporo, Japan. Sapporo is the capital and largest city of the northern island of Hokkaido. And these are some of the citizens, some of them the indigenous Ainu people. And a lot of them making their way to the Tsukisamu Arena to see the 2015 ZEN-NOH World Women's Curling Championship. Our featured game this morning, session 12, Denmark up against Japan. Denmark on 2 wins and 5 losses. And Japan still in the hunt for the playoffs on 4 wins and 3 losses. Quite a nice little crowd forming this morning. Everyone in to support the hometown favourites. The entire Japanese team live and train here in Sapporo. Up against a slightly out of sorts Danish team. Not playing at their best so far this week, but let's meet them. Lead, Charlotte Clemenson. Second, Stephanie Riesdahl. Third player, Shanna Ellegard. And of course the skip, Lena Nielsen. Alternate, Isabella Clemenson. And coach Ulrich Schmidt. And the Japanese team led by Anna Omiya. Second, Kao Onodera. Third player, Sayaka Yoshimura. And of course, the face of Japanese curling, Ayumi Ogasawara. The alternate, Rina Ida, and the coach is Fujimiki. And this is how they stack up. Canada and Switzerland on 6 and 1 there, leading the way, and Russia hot on their heels. China, Germany, Japan all on 4 wins, along with Scotland and Sweden. They're all bunching right up for those last playoff spaces. And I think you can just about discount Denmark, Finland, United States and Norway from the hunt for the playoffs. My name is Logan Grain alongside me, Kenny Edwards, bringing you live commentary this morning. Elsewhere on the ice, Sweden up against Finland, Scotland against Russia, and Canada against Norway. Well, there is Lena Nielsen, the Danish skip, of course, skipped the Danish team in the Olympic Winter Games in Sochi this time last year. Lena's never managed to chalk up a medal at the World Women's, getting as close as 4th in 2011. Okay, so Charlotte Clemenson getting the game underway here. Of course, the two teams do draw for last turn advantage in the first end. 1 in turn, 1 out turn. And Japan secured the last stone. Charlotte, the 22-year-old from Copenhagen, student.
Det er godt spillet, Lotte. Der er for meget is.
And they go into the house, don't manage to get it quite in the right spot on the centre line. And here we have Anna Omiya throwing the corner guard. So Kenny, Japan off to a flying start, but starting to come off the rails a little bit in the last couple of games.
Yeah, certainly they have capitalised on a few mistakes from the opposing teams. They've had a lot of support here, and then they're maybe just beginning to feel the pressure after picking up the wins early this week, and with the playoffs beckoning, maybe just a little nerve just creeping into their game. Denmark really just not been at the races this week.
Linjen er rigtig, rigtig god. Hvis I kan, finish it. Oj, den stopper. Det er godt spillet, Lotte.
So, a couple of stones in play. Got two sort of corner guards. It's probably going to benefit Japan with the corner guards rather than the centre guards. Denmark just coming off a win against Germany, so they should take confidence into this game.
Well, nice tap back there by Anna Omiya. Takes the danger away from the button.
Yeah, Denmark did lose to Canada though last night.
Here's Stephanie Riesdahl. A 23-year-old student as well. Made her first senior appearance for Denmark in Champéry in Switzerland for the European Championships in December 2014. This is Kaho Onodera. Watch out for Kaho's big weight ability. Made some terrific takeouts so far this week. So just a reminder of the rules of play. 6 ends minimum for the round robin. 38 minutes of thinking time for each of the teams to complete their 10 ends worth of stones. And of course, both teams entitled to 1 60-second timeout. And they can call that at any stage during the game.
Yeah, Denmark electing to come around these guards. And this one just not curling enough. And will be wide open. Do sit 2 though.
Well, this stone at the front of the house is very much blocking the way in to score for Japan, so they're going to remove that now. And it would be good if they could stick around. Jams it on the back one, and Denmark lying 2.
Yeah, no real great threat though. It's only in the 12 foot, and Japan with that last stone advantage. So if Denmark do get one round. I don't think they're going to be too worried.
Here's Shanna Ellegard, the only other remaining player from the Olympic lineup in Sochi, alongside Lena, of course. Denmark finishing 6th at the Winter Olympics, 1 place behind Japan, who finished 5th. Here's Sayaka Yoshimura, gone a little bit off the boil in the last couple of games. The 23-year-old. Certainly saw a lot of mistakes from her in the game against the United States yesterday morning. Of course, Japan did manage to come through that one safely. Oh, no, sorry, they didn't. They lost that one. And that's kind of started their downfall this week. Looking so good for the playoffs on 4-1. But bad day yesterday at the office. Kaho Onodera and Sayaka Yoshimura both playing in their first World Championship.
Yeah, it'll be a steep learning curve for the young Japanese players. So, Denmark failing to get around, but it's really difficult now for Japan to get round in there because there's a corner guard that you can't see. So that's why they're probably going to have to play the tap up. There you see the corner guard on the left. There's no real draw in.
Yeah, Japan need to be a little bit careful here. There's a lot of clutter on the center line.
So have they done enough to push this yellow in? I think they have, but they've pushed it to the gap. So Denmark with a chance to nose hit to set 4. Japan have got to watch what they're doing.
Nej, jeg vil ikke gerne spille 10 her igen, for den kører lidt lige. Jeg har rigtig lyst til at sætte den dernede i.
I think we will see them remove that yellow stone. They're only lying one at the back of the rings there. So just looking for a nose hit, I would suggest. Don't want to roll too far and open up a draw option for Japan.
So Lena Nielsen. Curling for 17 years. Played at so many European and World Championships. Makes a nice nose hit. But I'd like to tuck that one in a little bit more. But do set 4.
I think they found a pretty good spot though. They're going to have to, Japanese are going to have to move that stone. There's no opportunity to play a draw or even make a tap up to get a shot stone in there. So they're going to have to try and clear the way a little bit. Force an entry.
Ayumi Ogasawara for Japan. This is a real big stone here in the first end. Not the kind of shot you want to play with your first stone of a game.
Ayumi played in 3 Olympic Winter Games, 5th being her best result in 2014, and she was also Team Japan's flag bearer at the Olympic Winter Games. So clearly a very experienced athlete and a role model for other Japanese athletes. I'm sure that was a real thrill for Ayumi to get that opportunity to be recognized in that way.
Også godt. Altså hullet, der gør det så stort ud her, men stenene ligger lidt.
Ja, det er ikke så nemt at spille.
Nej. Så I skal lige vente lidt,
Ja.
hvis I kan.
Ja.
Rimelig normalt spor, eller?
Ja.
Ja. Ja.
Yeah, so that Yellowstone rolled in behind the guard, so Lennon Nielsen will just swing one round as we've got the timer on this one.
They're looking for something like 14.5 to 15 seconds.
Oh, sneaks past, that's a great shot. So the well set 3, maybe slipped to maybe a foot or two too far.
Yeah, certainly no gimme though here for Ogasawara. It's a tough port to come through. See that yellow just at the bottom of the screen there. It very much blocks the way into the button, certainly the natural line. So may have to go quite close to the centre guards here and even bounce off that red on the button to get in shot position. And here it is, the final stone of the first end. And this is a tricky one. Denmark could be lying as many as 3, certainly 2. Don't want to give up a big steal here in the first after when you're coming off the back of 2 losses.
Yeah, line looks pretty good, so all about the weight. Oh, great shot to finish the first end. Japan take their single point.
Yeah, an absolute pistol there from Ayumi Ogasawara. Great sweeping from Omiya and Onodera. And they get out of jail there. Japan putting 1 on the board in the first end, and it's Japan 1, Denmark 0. It was a terrific draw to finish that first end. Quite a messy first end, lots of stones in play. And Japan could have easily given up a steal there if it hadn't been for that super draw from Nagasawara. Kenny, we're seeing Japan playing much more aggressively than they were at the start of the week, in my mind. Do you think it's maybe what's their downfall at the moment? They're starting to play a game that they're not particularly comfortable with?
Yes, possibly. Beginning of the week, they were waiting on teams making mistakes rather than really pushing forward for a win. They were keeping it nice and clean, not really having too many stones lying around. Whereas now they're trying to mix things up and they're becoming a little bit unstuck. The middle order just not quite good enough at this level at the moment to really compete with the other teams.
Whoa, up.
Well, here we are over on sheet B, Scotland against Russia. First end, and here's Anna Sidorova. Very distinctive delivery of Anna Sidorova. Really a must-win for Scotland. Don't want to let the pack get away from them. And Russia, a couple of losses in their last 3 games. So they'll be looking to bounce back as well. And that's a lovely start. A nice draw there from Anna Sidorova down into the 4-foot. And put 2 yellow on the board for Russia. It's Russia 2, Scotland 0. So a couple of Japanese yellow stones on the centre line. And Denmark with the last one choosing to try and come around.
Så langt vi kører. Så langt den kører. Så langt den kører. Wow.
Yeah, it's quite a slack shot that from Denmark. So Japan, they'll try and come around the guards that are on the centre line. Onadera, it's probably been a lot better at our takeouts than playing the draws.
There's the Japanese coach, Fuji Miki, up there alongside national coach J.D. Lind. And alternate Rina Ida. Well, after that mistake from Charlotte Clemenson, they're going to start trying to tidy this up a little bit and move some of these guards out of the road. Well, not a great result there. And I'm sure Ulrich Schmidt senses a little bit of danger here. A couple of yellows starting to kick around the house, and there's a centre guard for them to come around as well. Ulrich Schmidt, tremendously experienced guy to have to bring on board for this young Danish team.
Have they done enough to get past? I don't think they have. Oh, they do. Great scrub from the front end, get that one round.
Well, there is a chance here for Riesdahl, quite a big pocket to run it into as we get another look at this. Big scrub from the Japanese. Would have just liked to maybe get it a little bit further in there, but still a good effort. Meanwhile, Riesdahl hits on the wrong side of the guard, and Denmark in some trouble at the moment.
Yeah, we've seen Japan struggling in the first end, but it's Denmark who are struggling here in the second.
Yeah, absolutely, Kenny. That's one of the great things about curling is that you can play one bad end, but once that end's over, then you get a clean slate to start again the next one, and Japan really making the most of that at the moment. Over on sheet D, Canada 6-1 playing Norway 0-7. Here's Kristin Skaslian throwing the last stones for Norway. And needs to find a nice draw here to put one on the board. And nicely looked after by the sweepers. Bounces off the red onto the button. A super draw there and a super start for Norway. It's Norway 1, Canada 0.
Yeah, so Denmark trying to run the guard back. Don't really manage it, but do leave a centre guard. And that's really not what they were after. Does open up the yellows though. There is a lot of separation between the yellows, so there's no real easy double there.
Oh, another nice guard here from Japan. Puts it in pretty much a perfect spot.
Yeah, it's really awkward now for Denmark to play any sort of double and use their shooting stone. So all it might be left is just swing one right round into the forefoot. Reluctant to tidy things up.
There's Shanna Ellegard. Did play second last season in this team, moved up to third.
Yeah, replaced Ella Simonsen. And I think so far this week they're missing the long-time third for Lena Nielsen.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a bit of a fresh start for this team. They've brought in two young, inexperienced players. They're going to try and train them up a little bit. And it is a 4-year cycle generally the teams plan for as they try and make the next Olympic Games.
playing that draw that I feel Denmark probably should have played. Swinging round to the back of the fort. And not a great shot by Skip.
Well, we sort of struggled with the draws a little bit yesterday as well, and we put it down to bad stones, but not even close on that one. Still not that easy for Japan to get one in there.
Yeah, I think you've got to make a play on that yellow and roll in behind the guards just to maybe back ring hack weight. I think that's what they're going to go for. And both teams do get a practice before the game begins, so they do have a rough idea of how much this is going to move.
Der er ikke meget plads, Steff. Okay. Vil du sætte farten ned? 11,5. Hvor langt er der op til garden? Garden ligger 1 meters penge ude. Vi bliver nødt til at give den chancen for at komme derind.
Well, she is going for that in-turn takeout that you nominated, Kenny. She would love to just get a check underneath the guards here. Needs to get by, though.
Oh, really, really nice.
Yeah, perfect shot there by Lena Nielsen. And let's take another look at it. Sweeping from Clemenson, and Ellegaard gets it in a good spot there. Doesn't quite push the yellow out of the rings, but didn't need to. Just needed to get a good shooter in there. And look at these 4 stones near the center line, all lined up and staggered slightly for Ayumi Ogasawara just to come around and try and get one onto the edge of the button for shot position. She's now looking at just whether she can remove that red stone. Over on sheet D, Canada and Norway, we saw Kristin Skaslien throwing the edge of the button to score 1. And I think this is Jennifer Jones just paint for 2. And this one looks pretty comfortable. And it's a score of 2. And after 2 ends, Canada moving into a lead over Norway. It's 2-1 there. So they changed the call here, and they're just going to try and pick this red out, just try and squeeze through the port here. Great shot.
Real nice call. There's a lot of risk with that one. They catch it too thin, you could stick it on the back. Yellow.
It looked like a really solid delivery and a good clean release at the hog line there. Green light's on. And a green light for the result as well. A super shot there. I'm sure they looked at whether the stone would stick on that back yellow, but I think your saving grace was they always knew they'd be lying at the top of the 8 foot anyway, even if they did manage to do that. So it's a tough draw here. Lynn Nielsen needing to be a little bit better than 8 foot to score in the second end and tie the game up.
Yeah, sweeper's backing off this one.
God retning. Super retning.
But absolutely perfect.
Lækkert, Lene.
On to the forefoot to tie the game at 1-1 after 2 ends.
Det tror jeg, vi alle sammen vi skal have væk. Der bliver bundet lidt meget nu her. Hun er god til sin indlæg.
You're watching live coverage of the 2015 World Women's Curling Championship, sponsored by ZEN-NOH. And our featured game here is Denmark and Japan inside the Sukisamu Gymnasium. My name is Logan Gray, and alongside me, Kenny Edwards, talking you through the game. And it certainly looks like it's going to be a tight affair, this one, Kenny.
Yeah, I think so. Both teams applying a bit of pressure early on. Denmark really having a good first end, and Japan really having a good second end, but both skips playing nice draws to bail their team out. And the game all tied. I've got to think it's maybe Japan that have started the game ever so slightly better than Denmark.
Yeah, you may be right, Kenny, but I think if it was a match play situation, it would probably be all square with Denmark taking the first end and Japan taking the second. Both teams managing to force their opposition to make difficult shots to score one.
Rigtig fint, Lotte.
So Charlotte Clemenson.
Rigtig lækker retning.
So just looking for a kind of
Ikke endnu,
a tight guard.
Ikke endnu, Ginny.
Super's not having too much work to do. This actually travels down into the rings, and should be a good opportunity for Japan to start trying to bring that corner guard into play.
Yeah, I think Japan might just ignore this red and come around the corner.
Certainly would have been an option. Here's Anna Umeya. Just going to try and punch this stone at the top of the forefoot through. Just about gets the back one, but it does stick around that red stone at the back of the rings. Meanwhile, on sheet A, Sweden and Finland. So we've got a Bit of a team change. And that's Heidi Hossi throwing the last stones for Finland. Sanna Pustinen not on the ice this morning, so it's a bad miss though. Drawing the house for 3 and throws it through the back. Only 2, but still Finland moving into a 2-1 lead over Sweden. Yeah, Moja Samuel Virta on the ice for Finland today, replacing Sanna Pustinen. We'll try and find out what's up with Sanna, whether it's just a team change for playing reasons or whether she just ate a little bit too much wasabi last night. Oh, nice come around the guard there. Here's Scotland-Russia on sheet B. Doesn't look like a straightforward shot here for Eve. Facing 3 yellow Russian counters all around the 4-foot. A must make.
Yeah, Scotland really not at the races this morning. Eve Muirhead been left with difficult shots in the first and here in the second.
Oh, is it going to rear up in time? They're standing back. Just stops dead on the button. A lovely draw there by Eve Muirhead, keeping Scotland's hopes alive, even at an early stage in the game. And it's Russia 2, Scotland 1.
So Onodera trying to play the hit and stay. But just leaves a nice pocket for Denmark. I don't think they'll play the hit in this one. They'll just probably throw something in on top. Well, I can't see enough of that yellow to play the double.
Well, you normally associate second players with being strong takeout players. Shanna Ellegard did play second for the last Olympic cycle for this team. Just makes the hit and stick. Wasn't really that much weight to go after the double. Now, if Japan could ever make this hit and roll over on top of that Yellowstone, that would really put them in good shape here in this third end. Yoshimura not entirely happy with that pullback, so just giving it another scrub and starting again.
Even a roll anywhere away is pretty good. Yeah, that's a real nice shot. Gets good separation between the yellows and pretty much forces Denmark to play the nose hit. Yes, it does push the yellow through, but leaves a big nest at the back of the 12-foot.
kan ikke rigtig se, når man slipper den. Hvad vej den? Nej. Eller arbejder lidt med.
Oh, another look at the sweeping of Clemenson and Riesdahl. Kenny, Denmark maybe not quite the strongest sweeping team in the competition. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I think so. They're fairly weak in terms of their sweeping ability, their ability to maybe drag stones in. You just need to look at the way their stance next to the stone. Velocity isn't great either. You know, it's a big part of the game nowadays. These guys are out there for 2.5, 3 hours, spend a lot of time in the gym. I'm not really sure how much time the Danish guys spend in the gym.
Yeah, and it's such a big advantage, isn't it, to be strong sweepers, or to have strong sweepers.
Yeah, it allows you to just that little bit more room for error.
Yeah, so a nice draw there from Japan, splits the rings. Japan, on the other hand, are quite a strong sweeping team, I would say, and do a good job of positioning that yellow stone.
So they do make a takeout, but again, doesn't really do anything to help the cause. So Japan just going to try and split the house.
Well, same shot again here, and Ayumi not really been too successful on the draws, so generally erring on the light side. Just need to make sure she gets this one right down onto the tee line and in the 8 foot. Well, perfect shot. And Ogasawara finds her draw weight.
Tegner isen lidt ind. Den var 9, men jeg tror, vi holder den, fordi den vil lige have set komme. Ja. Det var vigtigt, Lotte, at du prøver at se, om du ikke kan få den til at rykke sig så meget som muligt. Ja. Så hun skal få den ud over det dernede. Yes.
Over on sheet D, here's Kristin Skazlian again. Delivering her final stone of the third end, trailing by 2 shots to 1. And just trying to make a hit and stick for 1, facing 2 Canadian counters. Well played by Skazlian. Puts another one on the board for Norway. And they're managing to keep things tight against the Olympic champions. 2 apiece there.
Yeah, so this is a fairly straightforward draw to the 8 foot to pick up 2 for Ogasawara in Japan. does have a little bit of backing at the 12 foot as well. And gets the desired result.
Yeah, nicely worked in there by Japan. Made good use of the corner guard and got the mistake. And split the rings nicely all end. Draw for 2. 3 ends played here. It's Japan 3, Denmark 1. Well, that's the hand of Anna Omiya, throwing the #1 stone for Japan. Sometimes you do see the teams kind of mix up the order of the stones. Try and get them in the best order to make the most amount of shots. I think we'll see Japan going to the top of the 4 foot. They know that Denmark will want to use the free guard zone and try and get a deuce back on the board to even things up.
Wow, så. Ikke endnu. Så. I skal lige lade den arbejde, Ginny. Okay,
So Charlotte Clemenson for Denmark will try and get some corner guard action going here in the 4th.
Anna Omiya playing 82% for the tournament. That'll be around middle of the pack for the leads here this week. The likes of Don McEwen shooting around 88%.
Well, would have liked that a little tighter.
Yeah, I think they would prefer have that on the centre line side of the stone than on the outside. So Denmark can maybe make a play on that shot stone and try and roll towards their corner guard. Corner guard a little bit too close to the centre line as well for Denmark's liking. Clemenson playing 81% for the tournament. As a lead, you're really looking for the numbers to be over 85. Leads do generally have the easiest of the shots to be played, so So you would expect them to have a higher number. Well, just over curls a fraction, but quite a nice result. Chips the centre guard over and rolls in behind the cover. Potentially even a better result than the nominated one. Well, Japan with their 2-shot lead aren't going to let up quite yet. They're going to continue to play aggressively and put a centre guard on here. Onodera playing 75% for the tournament.
Yeah, these long guards probably in Denmark's favour right now. Stephanie Riesdal, 70%. This one needs to move a long way.
Well, it's been a bit of a struggle this week for Stephanie, and her woes continue. Just hairs that wide guard and wriggles between the two stones in the house. And now Japan really have a great chance to block it up. Just be looking for a guard just in the middle of that gap between the two yellows.
This one, just trying to block the gap. A real nice shot. I think the one that's actually causing the trouble is that one on the centre line, that yellow. So probably going to drive that back.
Well, Lena Nielsen agrees with you, Kenny. Very astute tactically, Lena. And just going to try and ram that yellow at the top of the screen down onto the stone just played by Japan. A lot of silence, and it just hits right on the nose. So a bit of a disastrous end for Stephanie Riesdal.
Yeah, really needed to be on the high side of that one. Anywhere on the high side, you're going to open up at least one side of the forefoot. So not a good fourth end for Stephanie Riesdal.
Yoshimura playing a little bit better than Riesdal so far this week, 74%.
Yeah, so Japan looking fairly strong here in this fourth. Just a wall of stones covering that yellow in the forefoot.
It's just a bit of a horrible situation here for Denmark. Just so many guards out there, it's difficult to know what one's to peel. Well, could do with getting a couple off here. Stuffs it again. And this is getting really messy here for Denmark.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised at the weight these guys throw at peels. They don't seem to have the ability to throw the up-weight takeout. And it really is great to have that in your armour if you can throw a real good, hard, heavy peel.
Well, I think Japan know they don't need any more guards at the moment. They're maybe trying to work out how they can improve their situation in the house to maybe set up a multiple steal.
And they might be able to come around right round outside on the right-hand side to the edge of the 4, or come down and push the red through. But if you do push the red through and sit out, you might leave a double. So I think you're maybe safer just coming right round the outside of the yellow.
Well, I think they're just going to continue to pile the guards up at the moment.
And that yellow stone that's sitting top of the 4 foot was the first stone played of the end as well. It just shows how key and important the lead's first stone of the end is.
Minna Nielsen doesn't look like she's particularly enjoying herself out there at the moment. I'm sure she's not particularly enjoying this end anyway.
So throwing another one up there, and if you're Denmark, how do you even get close to that yellow? All you've got really is to run something in. Probably run the long corner guard in, hope you stick it in the nose.
No, that would certainly turn the end around, but if you do start hitting these corner guards, and then it does open up the path for Japan to start drawing in.
Hvis vi kan få fat på den der, så den kommer herover i, vil det være rigtig godt. Det er næsten på næsten.
Yeah, I think I'd be driving the red off rather than the yellow. If you take the red off and drive it in, you might be left the edge of the button to draw for your 2. Your single point, sorry.
Shanna Ellegard only playing 71% for the week. I think you're right, Kenny. I think you could drive in the corner guard to try and remove the stone off the 4 foot. But the other thing it does is it opens up the path in, and even though Japan have that option first, I think that's your best way to score here in this 4th end. So there's a whole lot of red stones in here. Here's Maria Prutz, trailing by 2 shots to 1 against Finland. And how's this one look? Well, before that shot, I think there was 7 reds in there. Doesn't manage to get an elusive 8, but still puts 6 on the board. And Maria Prutz and her teammates clearly over the moon. Sweden, straight off the back of 3 consecutive wins, looking like they're going to take a 4th one in a row, and now lead Finland by 7 shots to 2. Gasawara, 67% for the tournament. Another good guard goes up. It's really a bit of a dream as a skip just to be able to throw guards all day. That's exactly what you want.
Yeah, but while they are doing battle, Canada and Norway are all tied at 2-2. And we're going to look at Jennifer Jones' final stone. Looks like a tap back around the corner for maybe 2. Have they got it past the corner? Shave past the corner, but this one's going to over curl. Faces their own red, and it's going to be a steal of 1.
Yeah, maybe trying to be a little bit greedy there and going for the 2, and not missing on the professional side, making sure you score. So after 4 ends, it's Norway 3, Canada 2. Lena Nielsen only 70% for the week. Going for the angled raise here. Must be close.
Oh, great shot from the skip to bail her team out of trouble.
Well, if you're going to be critical, again, he'd have just rolled it into the open and left Japan a hit and roll in. But the way this end's been going, I think Japan will be, Denmark will be over the moon to be lying to at this stage.
Yeah, here you see again, just driving that corner guard in right onto the yellow in the forefoot. So Ogasawara just hitting and trying to roll into the forefoot. This one's sitting a little high at the moment. And don't think they've managed to get right in behind. Maybe just we'll leave half a shot for Denmark to get out of this. There you see it, that's fully buried in behind, so they may be able to come down at sort of back ring weight and just push it through for 2. So Lena Nielsen with a back ring weight. This one's looking pretty high for line. And it's just going to click the edge of it. And it's going to be a big steal here in the 4th end. Japan really dominant in this 4th end.
Well, that steal of 1 takes Japan to a 4-1 lead. 4 ends played here. Denmark with a lot of work to do.
So fifth end, Japan really beginning to stretch their advantage now, leading 4-1. Throwing up the tight centre guard. It's good to see them mixing this up. Not really running for home yet. Still a long way to go. You'd probably see most teams throw that one into the top of the four rather than the tight guard.
Well, Denmark going to turn down the opportunity to come around in favour of throwing the corner.
Bare kom. Yep. Godt farve. Fin, Lotte. Godt, Lotte. Godt set.
A good corner guard there, and now Japan will play around the centre. JD and Fuji have spotted something of interest in the stands. They'll be feeling pretty content with this start to the game. Well, it doesn't manage to make the come around.
Yeah, Japan have got to watch they don't get lured into a scrappy end where they can give up a silly 2 or 3. Yeah, the ice conditions there, you can see the frost on the right-hand side of the sheet. So, but the ice conditions have been pretty good this week.
We did have one draw where it got a little bit frosty out there, and the ice got really slow. So.
Yep. Træk. Fin, Lotte.
Yeah, it has been a bit of a challenge for Hans Ruchik and his team to really control the ice conditions out there. There's no insulation in the roof here, so the temperature in the arena can vary as much as 18 degrees during the day. So generally, as an ice maker, you're looking for nice consistent conditions so you can replicate the ice conditions draw on draw, but when you've got that sort of a challenge, it's really difficult to manage that.
Wow! Den skal med.
Yeah, so Japan really dictating this game.
Well,
Again, a chance to get around the centre guard. There's no real advantage of pulling these guards off, so there's a double corner, double centre, so they've really got to run with this end.
Yeah, absolutely. The setup play wasn't quite correct from the lead, so they do need to be able to adapt. And I quite like what they're doing, the Japanese, in the moment. Too often you see teams in this position with the last stone, they'll go in super defensive and start just peeling the guards and give up a soft two, and all of a sudden it's a one-shot game again. So I like that they're continuing to apply pressure to Denmark at the moment.
So this one just catches the guard. So also a little heavy, just right to the back ring. So I think it probably just come down to the face of the yellow that's just on the open side, maybe, or even throw the guard. But the problem is, you throw the guard, the two yellows are lined up. You should be able to make the double on that yellow that's in the 8 foot.
Yeah, Kenny, I think they need to get a little bit closer to the centre line. They certainly need to be on the centre line side of the shot stone to try and take that angle away to remove all the stones on the centre line.
So just threw this one a little high, so trying to sweep it past. So two yellows wide open.
Rick Schmidt keeping an eye on things, overlooking the sheet.
He himself played in many world and European championships. So it does remove two of the yellows from play. It leaves that one in the 4 foot.
Well, good look at that sweeping prowess of Omiya, and Onodera drags it right over to the centre line. Lesser sweepers with the left eye Yellowstone wide open, but really maximising the curl to get it in the perfect spot. And all the Danes can do is start to try and open this up again. Going for the run back, just misses and stuffs it on the back one. So Japan just have to throw a guard really. Now lying 3.
Yeah, Japan, everything going their way at the moment.
とウェイトもあっていいでしょ。ないと乗らないかも。そこのライン。近くてもいいんだ。3つ。オッケー。滑ってやるんだ。
Does overcurl a little bit, and perhaps Lena Nielsen off the hook a bit as well. She can just come round at quiet weight, push that yellow through. And the key will be to try and keep the shooter as close to that center guard as possible.
Yeah, I should be able to squeeze past the top yellow. Don't want to play big weight at this really though.
Squeeze, mindre.
Won't be too worried if they leave a couple of yellows on the back right.
Så 4 fod bliver
You
fri.
can see most of this yellow stone.
Når det hvis den ruller meget, så er du klar.
It's a really key shot for Lena Nielsen. Can't really afford to give up any more here in the fifth. Standing back off this one. So bump that one to the back ring. The only saber is it's opened up the whole side. But if Japan could ever make a nice hit and flop in, again, it's going to look really difficult for Denmark to score their single point.
Yeah, definitely an improvement to the situation, though. The scoring area is that bigger for Denmark now, and they do need a score here in this fifth end just to steady the ship a little bit. But it really has been one-way traffic here in this first half.
So electing to take it the other way to stop the jam on the back yellows. So although Japan's sitting 3, no real danger, you've got to expect that Lena Nielsen can draw the 8-foot for a single.
Den burde altså ikke køle så sindssygt. Men I må gerne lige være klar, for det kan godt være, at den kommer ud i balladen derude.
So final stone of the fifth end, Lena Nielsen looking for the 8-foot.
Retning er god.
Lovely draw. Nicely done by Lena Nielsen. And narrows the gap to 2, but it's all Japan so far. And after 5 ends, it's Japan 4, Denmark 2.
third end of Denmark versus Japan. And this is Ayumi Ogasawara trying to draw for 2. Super Skeptic clean, and they took the lead. Fourth end, Lena Nielsen in all sorts of trouble, having to play a hack weight around the yellow guard. But this one, always high for line, clicks past the yellow and rolls out of play, and a steal of 1 for Japan. Fifth end, and Japan dominating the play, forcing Lena Nielsen to draw for the single point. This one never in doubt. So, fifth end, Japan 4, Denmark 2. Canada versus Norway. Norway leading by 1, 3-2 up, but skip Jen Jones has a split for 6 in this fifth end. Just needing to get a piece of this one, short of the rings. Just misses it, but they do pick up 5 and storm into a 7-3 lead into the break. Sweden also chasing down a playoff spot. They're up against Finland. Heidi Hosey throwing last bulls for Finland this morning. They are trailing 8-2 at this moment. And Heidi Hosey makes no mistake with this draw. But they trail by 4. 8-4 the score after 5. The other game that's going on is between Scotland and Russia. Scotland 6-3 ahead, turning things around after trailing by 2.
Hoved op.
So there's the stats. Denmark being well outplayed by Japan. Only 54% for the team. And it's really the hits that's the big difference. Denmark way down at 45, Japan up at 80. So if you've just joined us, you're watching live coverage of the ZEN-NOH World Women's Curling Championships 2015 from the Suami Gymnasium, Sapporo, Japan.
Never.